Welcome to the oratory of St. Catherine of Siena. Sometimes in challenging times, it's helpful to remember that we are not the first nor the last to live in such times. This is the first in the series of brief talks that will look at some Christians who lived and worked and ministered in times that were equally challenging as our own. I want to begin with St. Catherine of Siena, since she's the patron of my oratory, and I think is a good example of a Christian who lived in times that we would find even more challenging than our own. St. Catherine of Siena was a 14th century mystic, theologian, and doctor of the Church who lived during one of the most tumultuous times in European history. It was marked by the Black Death and intense political turmoil. Her unwavering faith served both as a personal anchor and a source of strength for many in these challenging times. The Black Death ravaged Europe during Catherine's lifetime, killing millions and leaving communities devastated. Catherine's deep faith in God gave her the courage to care for the sick and the dying, despite the personal risks involved. She believed that serving others, even in the most dangerous circumstances, was an act of love toward Christ. Her spiritual writings reflect her view of suffering as a means of uniting with Christ's passion and with an opportunity for profound trust in God's providence. In Siena, Catherine visited plague victims, ministering to their physical and spiritual needs. She often worked in the poorest and most neglected parts of the city, where many others were too afraid to go. Her selflessness and reliance on God inspired others to act with compassion during a time of widespread fear and despair. One of the most interesting moments in my visit to Siena was visiting the massive hospital, which is now a museum, and being able to see the hospital that she ministered in. In the very depths of this massive hospital is a small, dark chapel. And in this small, dark chapel, there is a niche carved out where Catherine prayed and rested. I think it's interesting to note that she both served and cared for herself in a way and a time that was meaningful for us. The 14th century was also a time of political instability and division within the Church. Catherine lived through the Avignon papacy, where the Pope resided in France rather than Rome, and the Great Schism, which divided the Church. She passionately believed in the unity of the Church and worked tirelessly to restore it, using her profound spirituality and her remarkable diplomatic skills. Catherine's faith emboldened her to write letters to influential figures, including popes and rulers, urging them to seek peace and justice. Despite being a young, uneducated woman by societal standards, she acted with the conviction that God had called her to speak truth to power. Her famous correspondence with Pope Gregory XI encouraged him to return to Rome, a significant step in addressing the divisions within the Church. Catherine's deep prayer life was central to her strength. She experienced profound mystical union with Christ. These experiences reaffirmed her belief in God's presence among suffering and gave her the courage to face challenges head-on. Her writings in the Dialogue of Divine Providence reveal her trust in God's infinite mercy and her understanding of human suffering as a path to spiritual growth. St. Catherine of Siena's faith not only helped her navigate the crises of her time, but also left a lasting impression on the Church and on the world. Her life demonstrates how profound trust in God can empower individuals to face unimaginable challenges, offer hope to others, and work toward healing and unity in times of division. Her example continues to inspire the faithful, especially during times of crisis, to act with courage, compassion, and unwavering trust in God's plan. May her example serve as a model for us to act, again, as she did, with courage, compassion, and unwavering trust in God's plan. Amen.